Hello and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, it goes without saying really that this bird is probably one of the most highly anticipated aircraft that we've seen to date in this sim, and particularly because it really is a high fidelity, highly complex aircraft that we have yet to see. Obviously this sim is still in its infancy, and you know, we've been craving for an aircraft of this level to be returned to the sky, shall we say, in this new sim, because it is available for prepared and perhaps even FSX, I think. But obviously it's been something that we've been really missing in this sim, is a really high fidelity, dare I say study level. You know, I know we don't like that word these days, but I must admit this is pretty much there in terms of its depth. Now, for this particular video, we're just going to be sort of having a bit of a first impressions look. I'm not going to go through everything in depth because this video would literally be hours and hours, because there's so much to show you on this thing. So I think what the best idea for me to do is to start a brand new series covering every detail of this new aircraft from Aerosoft. Now, it's worth saying as we pan around here that Asobo have worked tirelessly with Aerosoft over the months and months that this has been in development to bring you this aircraft. It's one of those that they've been working together in a sense that to overcome the challenges, of course, and the limitations, because, as I say, Microsoft Flight Simulator is still in its infancy. But really, it's the first of a kind of this style, of this complex sort of family of, I guess, I mean, really, it's like a small airline in this thing. It's a commercial jet, and for me personally, I'm not a massive airliner guy, but I do really appreciate the attention to detail here. And, you know, honestly, the documentation, you're going to want to read it, because you're going to, you know, find so much about this aircraft. And even the quick start guide is about 80 pages. Which brings me to a point really with the pricing of this model, which I think is around, I think it's $50 US, I think it is, which might sound like a lot of money, guys, especially for a lot of newcomers to this genre. But trust me, this is, you know, you're treading on the heels of sort of the PMDG crowd here, which are the hardcore flight sim fans, and that's what this aircraft is aimed at, really. It's a true sort of, dare I say, study level aircraft. So the first thing to do, of course, is to look at the, I suppose, the external textures and the 3D modelling, and that's what we've been doing in drone mode now. We'll get a bit closer, because I think, you know, I owe it to all of you guys to let's, you know, do the usual up close and personal look at this aircraft, and it just looks absolutely, it looks exquisite, really. It's beautifully modelled, as you'd expect from, you know, a bird of this sort of calibre and this might, shall we say, because this is the real deal, guys. This is what flight sim is all about. Now, you know, I mean, I think some of the textures are a little bit fuzzy if you get really close. If I want to be really picky, if we look up here, which you never would in real life, you know, there's a few dodginess going on there, but I mean, generally speaking, I think it's a beautiful looking plane. And to be honest, in terms of frame rate, and that's really important as well, considering, you know, it's on par really with the default aircraft in terms of its texturing. It's very, very well optimized, because this thing is all about the systems and all the things going on underneath the hood that you wouldn't expect from any other aircraft that we've got so far to date. And that extends to the cabin as well. So if we just go into here, and you can see here the cockpit layout, which is zoom out a bit, it's just, I mean, it's CRJ, you know, it looks exactly like the real thing. This is not going to be a VR video for the first impressions, because I don't think it wouldn't make any sense really for me to be showing this in VR yet, because it's such a complex bird. I have actually, though, just had a quick sort of look around in VR, and it's just staggering. You know, when you're kind of just sat there, and you know, you really appreciate sort of how huge this cabin is compared to sort of what I'm used to with you know, general aviation aircraft. So first of all, I'm going to show you this what they call the EFB, which is the iPad. And we've seen a bit of this recently with the likes of Carenado, but this is an entirely new level, guys, of sort of complexity. Even to the point where, at the moment, we are actually just completely cold and dark. So this iPad it's being powered by its own battery. As you can see here, it's being depleted. We're at 99% already. Now, if the aircraft systems were powered up and the APU was running, then that would actually be charging this. Whoops, that's my controller falling on the floor. Sorry, guys. That would actually be charging the iPad, which is just... it's those little things, as you know, I really like. So first of all, let's have a quick look if I can zoom in here. So we've got our checklist here. Now, at the moment, unfortunately, the checklist in Microsoft Flight Simulator isn't really supported at the moment, which is a shame, because I really feel like, for me personally, I'm a visual learner, and to be able to see where all the switches and buttons, are needed to be pressed and goodness knows what for all our checklists, that would be really useful. But we don't have that right now. That is something that is going to be added in a future update, so I'm looking forward to that. But we have the very detailed checklist here. I'm not going to go through all this today, guys, but simply because of time, really. This video would be 2 or 3 hours. I'm going to start this aircraft from cold and dark, but I won't be using the full checklist for this particular flight. So, but you got here, this is really cool, and I'll show this a bit later on. The performance, basically you don't need to worry about the payload in the sim itself, because it's all managed here. And once you've decided on how many passengers you want, the cargo and the fuel, you can then set that in the sim, so the sim knows what weight and balance to assimilate. But also you can copy that to your FMS, which saves you a whole heap of time. You've also got your VRS speeds here, which is very cool. We'll look at the aircraft sort of section here, which is all the doors. So let's just open some of these now. So you can see here, look, how the animation is beautifully smooth there. That's really nice, a very nice touch there. And even these rails can go down so that you can attach a jetway, which is very cool. In fact, I'll show you that now. If we take those up, look at that. That's a thing of beauty right there. Anyway, for now, we'll just close those doors and we'll move on. This is the maintenance tab. And you can see here you've got all manner of options, and even your brake temperature. Keep an eye on that, because if it's too hot and dangerous, you shouldn't really take off. And actually will cool down. Will probably take a couple of hours. You can refill your crew oxygen and your oxygen mask as well. They're currently stowed, thankfully, because we've got no issues so far. And the options here, the screen here, is just a wealth of different configurations for your sort of imperial unit. So your temperature can be in Celsius or Fahrenheit, kilograms or pounds. You get the idea, guys. I like this is cool. I'd like DCS to have this option, actually. The Irs Alignment, at the moment it's set to instant, or you can have it realistic, which I think is about 7 minutes with the CRJ, or you can have it quick. We'll choose the sort of middle option here, which I think will probably be about 30 seconds to about a minute. So yeah, and also there's another page to this, because this bird also has cabin announcements and a flight attendant, which is just so cool. We'll leave that on just so you can hear that, but I think for me personally, I'll probably have that off unless I'm doing a full, proper from cold and dark right down, to sort of shut down, which we will be doing those flights in the near future, I can assure you of that. But for this first impressions, no, we'll leave them on anyway, just because I want you to hear the sounds. They're very, very nicely done. And of course, this aircraft has VNAV capability, which I think the standard CRJs, they don't actually have VNAV, but you can couple that, and it is available. That's something that really excites me, because it's been a huge omission from Microsoft Flight Simulator, so that's a great feat of engineering, even just with that. You can also change your PFD colours. Don't really know why you'd want to do that, but hey, the option is there if you need it. Look at this. Honestly, this is such a refreshing change to finally have an aircraft of this fidelity in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is an aircraft you're going to be flying for years, guys. It's not the kind of bird that you just have a laugh with. It's a serious bit of kit, this. So with that being said, that's a quick overview. We're now going to power this beautiful bird up. I'm just going to basically get some views sorted out as well, because obviously I'm used to flying in VR, so we'll do that and I'll get back to you in a moment. Okay, so we've now got some views set up. We've got our pilot, co-pilot, FMS, we've got the center console there, we've got the overhead, and we've got the iPad. And talking of the iPad, we definitely need to add ground power, so we'll do that now. I'm not sure if that actually has an animation or anything. That guy there looks like he's doing something. Now that could be part of the add-on, or it could be just the sim. I'm not entirely sure there. So again, I'm not going to do this, you know, exactly like the checklist. I'm gonna wing it a little bit and sort of just see how we get on here. There we go. That's it. Right. Bleed source needs to be on APU, of course. So it started. So I guess we wait. In fact, we might see a confirmation there. You can see there, guys. That's the APU coming online there. In fact, to be honest, I could do with a nice view there as well of the centre. There we go. We'll put that as Control 7. So now we're online. The aircraft is now powering up. Very nice sounds. We'll clear those cautions for now. Hopefully you can hear all these sounds nice and in their full glory. And we'll put our beacon on. You can hear there the APU firing up. I'm very intrigued to hear what these sounds are like as well, because as I say, I haven't had much time with this bird at all. So what we need to do now is make sure our beacon is on, which I've just put on actually, so that's fine. We could do with our air conditioners on, perhaps. I like the sounds and the clicks, sounding very nice indeed, very convincing. And we could do with starting our alignment actually, even though really it's going to be quite quick. I believe that's down here. Yeah, we'll put that to nav. Oh, that's a parking brake. Don't want to... There we go. That's with the scroll wheel. Good stuff. I've got to say the textures inside the cockpit are very nice indeed. Look really good. Now this is our nose wheel steering. We're going to want that armed when we get going. That's very important as well. So now our alignment's going to get cracking. We're going to just let the aircraft know where it is. So we'll go to our FMS. And that's the wrong button. Apologies. Index. There we go. So we'll just type in where we are. In fact, I haven't told you where we are today. We're actually at Southend, which is Pilot Plus Southend. The reason why we are here is because I feel this aircraft is a very, very important sort of, just execute that, that's fine, step in the sort of development of this sim. It's basically another line in the sand for the commercial fans, the guys who want, you know, the ultimate realism. And this airport that we're at right now is the very best right now that's available. It's the most incredible add-on that I've ever seen in terms of just the fidelity and the feeling of being there. And I've got a review on the channel of Pilot Plus Southend, so feel free to check that out. I'll put that in the link in the description below. Right, so the aircraft knows where we are. That's fine. As I say, all we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to basically see how the aircraft feels in the air. Now, whenever I get a new add-on, a new aircraft, the first thing I do is just bang out some circuits, okay? Just to get an idea of how it feels. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. All the rest of, we're going to do a full flight. In fact, what we'll do in our next videos, we'll go from Southend to Newcastle, and then we'll do a few European flights as well, where we'll use the FMS. But for this particular flight, we're just going to basically see how she feels. So with that being said, look, actually, we've just aligned. Lovely. We're going to go to our checklist now, and we're going to start the engines. So before start, we've actually done all this. The IRS is now aligned. So we'll go to the clear to start. So the APU, of course, is already on. Electrics have been checked. Doors are closed and secured. Beacon is on. So we need to get the hydraulic pumps all configured, which are these down here. I must admit, when you get a bit close to the textures, they are a little bit grainy, and I wonder if that's possibly because it's been ported over, or some of it anyway, some of the textures from prepared. But it's just an observation. I don't think it detracts from the product too much, but something I think is worth mentioning. So we'll put all those onto auto, I believe. Now this is a scroll wheel job, this is, so my scroll wheel on my mouse is dodgy. So that's a bit annoying. So there we go. That's sorted there. And I think the fuel pumps, they're on. I actually put them on before. So I think it's time to start the engine. We'll go for the right hand one. Come down here and you can see the NG should be rising. Once it gets to 14%, I think, or around that, we're going to introduce low idle. So we'll just move our... Sorry guys. This is the fun and games when you haven't got VR. That's the wrong button as well. Hang on, we'll do it like this. Okay. There we go. We'll go outside, listen to those sounds. Oh, look at that. Nice heat blur effects there. Gotta say, she's a looker, isn't she? She really is. Oh, that's beautiful. That sounds very nice. And by the way, the sounds are all 3D. So depending on where you are, you'll either hear even a click of a button, you'll hear it in your left or right ear. And I think in VR, that's going to be pretty cool. And by the way, we will be flying this in VR, okay? But it would be a bit ridiculous for me to do this on my first flight. Right, so that's the first engine sorted out. Do the same for the left engine. Same process applies here. Waiting for the NG to rise. So there's the left engine coming online now. In fact, we can get rid of our little ground power guy now, can't we? So we'll... but let's see if he does actually disappear. Aircraft. Disconnect. Oh, look at that. He's now moving off. So I guess that is part of the add-on. That's really cool. I like that. Nice touch there by Aerofly. Aerosoft, even. Aerofly. Imagine an aircraft like this in Aerofly FS2. That will never happen, unfortunately. So there we are. We are now started up. God, what a beautiful bird this is. I'm in love already. So, just make sure we've got all of our other things. So we can now take the APU off. I presume we can actually. Let's have a look at our checklist here. After start. Lead valves to auto, APU off. I guess it depends, because I know my business jet pilot friend, I like to call him, he often likes to run the APU until after takeoff. But I guess we can take this off for now, and we'll go to both engines there, take this off. That can power down. And I think everything's looking pretty good. Let's have a look at our what we need to do here. Emergency light switch, okay, so where's that? Let's have a look here. I guess these need to go on, don't they? Gens? No, they're off, okay, I see. It's weird, because for me, the other position looks like it's off. I'm going to have to get used to it, that basically, when the switches are away from you, that's on. Interesting. Right, okay, we'll put some... more lights on here. Say we'll put our nav light on. I'm still looking for the emergency light switch. Ah, it's out there. Okay, that's armed. That's it. There we go. Put our seatbelt signs on. No smoking signs. We don't like smoking in this aircraft, I'm afraid to tell you. And you know, all of the things, I mean, you could literally, if you wanted to do all the checks the way that the real pilots do, you can do that. And most of the checks, most of everything on this aircraft is fully functional, okay? That is crucial to understand. So, unlike, you know, the default aircraft where there's loads of switches and buttons and things that just don't work, they do on this aircraft. And I would recommend a channel called The Dude. In fact, I'll put his link in the description below, where you can find his channel. He goes through all of the checks, and it's actually fascinating to hear it from, I presume he is a real pilot, because he certainly seems like he is one. Very impressive indeed. Right, so we've just got a few things here. In fact, actually, stab trim and a few of the bits and bobs. Oh, keep pressing that parking brake. There we go. That's distinguished. Yaw damper. Well, I suppose we don't need that on until we're flying. Window heat. We need possibly those on, but I guess they're not essential. So I think, yeah, we'll basically, I think we're about ready, guys, to taxi out. And what we're going to do is we'll do just probably one circuit, you know, because this video is going to be a long one. So make sure we've got our nose wheel steering on, because if that's off and we start getting a pushback, that will break the nose wheel steering big time. So that needs to be just checking here, the center console, because there is a few other things I probably need to do that I haven't. But this is me winging it, guys, okay? So, you know, I'll do a full cold and dark tutorial video at some point in the very near future. But what are my impressions so far of this bird? Absolutely love it to bits. It is totally worth the money, without a doubt. I know it's expensive, guys, but this is quality. If you could be a fly in the wall at Aerosoft Towers and all of the conversations they've had with Asobo to get this bird to where it is now, you will realise how much pain that's gone into this, blood, sweat and tears, and it really is going to get better all the time. I'm very excited about that. Anyway, right, we need to go to our ground services and request pushback. By the way, while I remember, you can fuel this bird up using this, which is all fully functional as well. I don't think, though, that the fuses work, which, I mean, again, might be something that could be considered in a future update. Who knows? Right, anyway, we'll do our pushback here. Yeah, request pushback. Hopefully it'll work.
Hotel Golf
Fingers
Zulu
crossed.
Romeo requesting pushback.
And we'll disengage the parking brake here. Like it already was.
Romeo pushback request accepted.
I'll leave you with these nice views here. Look at this airfield. Oh my god, is it gorgeous. Rotating radar beacon there. This is Pilot Bus Southend, and it is an absolutely stunning airfield. And there's another one coming very soon I'll have on the channel. Look at that look. Very nice model there. In fact, should we go to the drone camera? There we go, look. Check that out, wow. Oh, do you know what? We've got our chocks on. What an idiot. What an absolute noob. Who is this guy? My goodness me. Right, hang on then. Let's go to aircraft. Take the chocks away. That's better. Like how the... is that... I think that pushback tug is possibly with the add-on. I like how the wheels are moving. And the engines have a bit of a metallic whine to them as well, which I like. Full spatial and 3D sounds. That will do, I think.
Hotel Golf Zulu Romeo taxi to and halt short of runway 5.
Runway 5, roger that.
Contact tower on 121.6 when ready.
So 30% power there, and then bringing it back. I've noticed how there's no ground friction. Yeah, she just starts rolling like very naturally. A lot of aircraft, you know, nowhere near this kind of quality, if I'm honest, like the Carinados of the world, which I do love Carinado, but this is a completely different league, of course. And I noticed this with the brand new Just Fly Arrow as well, which is gorgeous, and again in a different league. So the sort of default aircraft and some of the sort of cheaper end, shall I say, of the market. When you start taxiing, you just start rolling gradually, and it feels very natural. And we're going to roll right past this beautiful static Vulcan here at Southend.
Golf Zulu Romeo, hold position caution, other traffic.
Oh, it's a bit busy here. I'm going to carry on going. Look at that, beautiful Vulcan there. Now, of course, we're not going to worry about our VREF speeds today.
Romeo, did you copy?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Don't worry, I'm a professional pilot. I know what I'm doing.
Position Golf Zulu Romeo.
Runway ahead. But yeah, we're not going to worry about that too much today. We will put 2 degrees of flaps in. You can hear them coming into view there. Sound, rather. We'll hold short here. And we'll put our landing lights on, ready for takeoff. Which are here. Honestly, it's going to take me a while to get used to that. You know, that to me is off, but it's on with the CRJ. Very interesting. I love getting to know a new aircraft, especially something like this. Anyway.
Tower Foxtrot. Hotel Golf Zulu Romeo at runway 5 ready for takeoff, touch and go.
Foxtrot. Hotel Golf Zulu Romeo cleared for takeoff runway 5 left touch and go through.
Roger that. So we'll make sure our trim is in the correct range.
Cleared for takeoff runway 5 Golf Zulu Romeo.
You can do all sorts of clever things, by the way, especially if you've got a sort of a throttle quadrant with a reverser, or you've got more of a push button configuration. You can do all that within these options here, which I probably should be doing once I'm taxiing, but it's all there, guys. This thing is absolutely brimming with features. Always good to check, make sure the funnel's clear. See how now the iPad is now being charged, which is a very nice touch. I love stuff like that. I bet you guys are itching to know what this is like in VR, aren't you? The time of this recording, I haven't tried it, but that will be the next video. Oh, she feels very nice on the ground. Right then, I think we are ready. So what I'll do is actually, I'll just go outside and spool her up with the engine, with the parking brake set. Well, we'll be on the toe brakes, so you can hear the engine sounds. Here we go then. Doesn't she sound beautiful? I thought you might just enjoy the sounds from the outside there as I spool her up. And I've noticed how I think they're better than some of the early preview videos I've seen recently. Now, before we take off, I've just basically got rid of some of the other warnings as well because they're annoying me. We're just going to make sure that our trim is correct. And look, you can do all this as well, which is cool. I could probably just show you that actually quickly whilst we're just sat here on the ground, you know, on the runway as you do. But hang on a second, let's just have a look here. What can we do here? It's the performance page there. So all of that is not populated at the moment. Now, at the moment, we've actually got 52 passengers on board for this touch and go. Sorry about that, guys, you got on the wrong flight. We'll just set that in the sim, then copy that over, and now all that data is now in the FMS, which I think is a brilliant little feature. And for our cruise altitude, we're not going to go any more than 3,000 feet, so we'll just put that in there. Very nice. Execute that. And we are sorted there. So, I guess really, what else can we do here quickly? Trim should be 7.2. So if we can have a look at that on our display here, we're actually at 7.9. So we're just going to adjust that to 7.9 there. And we are now ready for takeoff, guys. I love that iPad and how it integrates and links with the flight management system. Here we are, trundling down the runway, 60 knots, 80 knots. That is our rotation speed coming up. Hopefully with a bit of luck she'll become airborne. Struggling at the moment actually. She's not. Oh, there we go. Whoa, that was a bit. I was expecting it to come up a bit quicker than that actually. That might have been my controls. But we are now airborne. Oh wow. Nearly went off the runway there, but we'll gloss over that. Flaps coming up there. Do you know, it's so nice to fly a bird, you know, of this level of detail in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Golf Zulu Romeo, you are leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Thank you very much. And you notice how, even at full power, we're still not going 600 knots like a lot of default aircraft, which they're ridiculously overpowered. We're still only doing about 210 knots at the moment.
Tower Foxtrot, Hotel Golf Zulu Romeo frequency change.
Just look at her in the air. Very, very smooth.
Foxtrot, Hotel Golf Zulu Romeo Tower. Enter left downwind runway 5. QNH 30.30 wind 001 at 19er.
Roger that. Well, what we'll do actually, we'll just try the autopilot system very quickly.
Runway 5 Golf Zulu Romeo.
I really need to set up some more bindings here. So we'll just go for basically heading hold and speed hold here. Sorry, altitude hold. Looking forward to trying out the VNAV. And see how she flies. See how smooth she is. We're really low down at the moment. In fact, we're not that low down. 1,300 feet at the moment. That will just go up a little bit here. So we are ridiculously low. Hey, check this out, Melissa. Look at this. How gorgeous is that? Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Right, anyway, we're not concentrating here, so I'll take the autopilot off. But she's very smooth to fly. I mean, just... you can tell that the flight physics and dynamics are very different from what we've seen and felt before in this sim. Without a doubt. I'm doing a crazy bank here. But just, yeah. I like how there's a lag as well with the throttle, which is very typical of any jet, really. Yeah, you know, it's not instant power. I cannot wait to fly this in VR, guys. Anyway, what we'll do, we'll turn around here and we'll get back on approach and see if we can do a fairly successful landing at Southend Airport. Okay, even though we've just got clearance, I've just been having a bit of fun actually, just flying around just in this area here. And it's hard to convey this when you're watching this, obviously on a YouTube video, but you know, as I'm at the controls, I can really feel the fidelity in the flight model, the smoothness, the fluid motion, and it feels very different. You know, I'm so used to flying the some of the default planes, which I know doesn't say much, but like the CJ4, even the sort of the working title one, and the TBM, and of course the Longitude. And this really feels, I guess it kind of feels like I'm back in X-Plane again, and that's a compliment really to this sim, that we've now got a really, really complex bird like this in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I've been craving for so long. You can see here, we're kind of just in a bit of a bank here, and she just settles really well. Going through a bit of cloud. Yeah. This is very nice, guys. Is this the best add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator? Oof, do you know what? It might be. It just might be, especially for us hardcore flight simmers. This is the one you've probably been waiting for. In terms of the commercial segment, anyway. Definitely. Anyway, let's go and land. Put the gear down. And we're just in limits there. Nice warning. No doubt all these warnings sound exactly like the real thing. I'm going to cheat here and use this for a moment, just to get ourselves lined up. Got someone else coming in. Got traffic on at the moment, actually. I'm online. I've been flying online quite a lot recently, actually, and it's been great fun. I flew in formation with someone in a Spitfire over Lady Bower, which was fantastic. Right, okay, we'll go first stage of flaps. Now, I believe these flaps, I think, are limited. So the first stage is 190 knots, second stage is 180, and it's 170 and 160. So that's very easy to understand there. She is a beautiful looking bird. She reminds me of the Challenger, actually. The Challenger 300, an X-plane. And that was a really considered a high fidelity model. This really is, you know, in a far different league. We're keeping to about 190 knots on the approach at the moment. We will slow down. I think we're sort of, you know, on short finals we should be about 120, 125 knots or so. Not expecting amazing things for this first landing, to be honest. Could do our checklist here as well, but tell you what, we won't bother with that today. Plenty of time to get to know this bird intimately. Make sure I'm not dropping out the sky too much here. I'm getting a bit low, actually. She does have a tendency to be quite nose high when you get really low. Sorry, in the speed I mean. But I think that's a characteristic of the CRJ itself. Just doing a bit of an extended base here. Just bumping around, a bit of turbulence there. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, just slightly there above our gear limit speed. Slow things down now. We'll come in for a landing. That south end over there. Okay, we'll go second notch of flaps, see what happens here. That's okay. So let me know in the comments, guys, are you interested in picking this bird up? I have to say, from my first impressions here, that I have fallen in love with it, without a doubt. And just knowing what, you know, what is this aircraft going to be like in, say, another 3 or 4 months down the road, or even 6 months, I do feel that Aerosoft are very committed to this aircraft, and there'll be many different updates to include weather radar, and, you know, oh, by the way, guys, I almost forgot. We've got a HUD display here. I can't get to it though, hang on a second, just go back a bit. Let's just try that out. This is super cool, I love this. Too busy playing with all the gadgets. Look at that. And the HUD display looks super sharp. That is so cool, to have a commercial airliner with a HUD display. That makes me smile, even though my landing here, I'm way too low here. I need to get back on the glide slope.
Too low, terrain, 400. Too low, terrain.
Oh dear.
Too low, terrain.
Very quick recovery here. Brace yourselves, guys. This might not be very pretty, but this is my first landing. Got a bit of a crosswind, actually.
200.
A little bit fast.
Sink rate.
There she goes. I am definitely too fast here.
Sink rate.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Too low, flat.
There we go. Are we on reversers? No, I don't think I've got my reversers set, but that's alright. We've got enough runway here. Do you know what, considering how bad that approach was, the touchdown wasn't too bad. There's the spoilers as well, which I've added to my yoke. And we're back down the ground. Well, honestly, guys, I kind of want to finish this video so I can get to know it. Oh, okay, that was a bit weird. In fact, we didn't have any announcements apart from there. But they are model, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that sort of quick first look, really, at the Aerosoft CRJ. Yeah, all I want to do right now is stop recording so I can get to know it better. And I'm really looking forward to bringing you a brand new series of this bird. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see it in VR. I think that's probably the next obvious thing to do. And to do a flight perhaps from here to Newcastle. And we'll check out the FMS in more detail, along with all of its other systems. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now. Oh, she's gorgeous.